Good evening, Dhamma friends. Let me wish you happiness and peace today at this moment to make your life happy and peaceful. You are warmly welcome to this episode of Sutta Studies. I'm joining today with this Sutta study class from the Western Buddhist Temple in Mississauga. Many of you know that I visited this temple yesterday for some programs. I'm still here, so I'm happy that everybody at this temple provided me some facilities to be able to conduct my online program. So let me wish all the Bhantis here happiness and peace out of respect. Let us begin today's Sutta studies by paying homage to the Supreme Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I pay my homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Friends, in today's Sutta study class, we pay attention to a very important discourse. This is called Maha Assapura Sutta. I'm sorry for being late to send you the notification about today's Sutta study class. Due to many traveling and activities, I was not able to spend some time to select a sutta early and send it to you. It was done this afternoon, but I was not able to sit and send it to you early. So anyhow, now you know the sutta title, Mahasapura Sutta. This is called the Greater Discourse at Asapura. There was a place called Asapura in the country called Anga. If you are familiar with the history of India during 6th century BCE and after, you see this country called Anga. It's not a powerful country. It's a country close to these big countries in the Indian subcontinent, and it is also a country that Buddha visited few times. And this Asapura is named by a particular person called Asapura, and that sutta called Mahasapura and Chulasapura, they were delivered by the Buddha when he visited these places. So this is Mahasapura, Greater Discourse at Asapura. The number of this sutta in Majjhima Nikaya is number 39. If you have a book Majjhima Nikaya, you can go to it, sutta number 39. So this sutta is important in the sense of various types of teaching. We see in the sutta that the Buddha is giving some tips of Dhamma for bhikkhus, for all of us to practice. We see that the Buddha is talking about the concern and the genuine concern we should have in the Dhamma practice. So he's been talking about the purity of conduct, sila, how one should be able to practice the moral principles to purify our mind from sila. That is being discussed in the sutta. Part of the moral principle is Indriya Sangvara. I think Indriya Sangvara, or the restraint on senses, is one of the biggest but very important teaching. It comes at the beginning of the real practice, but it has to be everywhere in the training. Being able to understand sensory experiences and discipline there is called Indriya Sangvara, and it is been discussed in the sutta. So another practice that basically any disciples of the Buddha should practice is moderation in eating. That is being discussed in this sutta. Then wakefulness, which means Jagriyan Yoga. So being as a disciple, if you sleep a lot unnecessarily for the body, it means you are lazy. You're not striving a lot for gaining that momentum of a spiritual success. So those disciples at the Buddha who attain to enlightened state sleep, but not too much, because they spend time meaningfully by reflecting. And when you love sleep, uh, does mean you love sensual pleasures. So I will explain that in details later on. Now we want to go to a summary of highlighting points. So that's wakefulness. Then the Buddha talks about mindfulness and alertness. This is called Sati Sampajanya. That is been also discussed. So when you go on basic practices uh, accordingly, your mind is going to be qualified for gaining samadhi. So your mind is trained to be in a state of mind where there is no busy nature. So that is being discussed in the first couple of steps of the training. This is particular not this is not for only for monks and nuns, but it could also be for yoga people, lay people. So that is being practiced. So having completed the Sila Khan, the aggregate of Sila in the Noble Eightfold Path, one is ready to abandoning the uh, one is ready to abandon the hindrances. The first layer of craving is called Pancha Nivarana, five hindrances, and one is quite ready for overcoming hindrances as a part of their Sila practice. So that is been discussed in details. And then when once you overcome hindrances, what you get is samadhi. The four jhana are the categories of samadhi, and that they are being discussed in details. And then we discuss the three knowledges at the end of the discourse. The knowledge about uh, one's past lives, and the knowledge about everyone's past lives, and the knowledge about destruction of craving. So Asapura Sutta, like many suttas, are a very uh, is a very detailed sutta with the path practice and also the results that one can get out of practice. So if I go to now reading sutta, I think that gives you some time and space to catch up the sutta. This is how the Buddha started the sutta. I have, this is Venerable Ananda's statement. I have heard that on one occasion the Buddha was staying among the Angas. Now the Angas have a town named Asapura. It's a town area. It's a very small uh, town area. There the Buddha addressed the monk. The Buddha said, monks, uh, that is how people perceive you. So monks, you are being called monks by lay people, bhikkhus. The very word the Buddha uses is bhikkhus. And when asked, "What are you?" you claim that we are complete. So when people ask from you who you are, you call them we are monks. So with this being your designation and this your claim, this is how you should train yourself. So if you say that you are a monk uh, to people when they asked, so you should make that thing meaningful. So when you say that you are a monk, you have to behave like this. We still undertake and practice those qualities that make one contemplative, that make one Brahman, so that our designation will be true and our claim accurate, so that the services of those whose robes, alms, food, lodging, medical requisite we use will bring them great fruit and great reward, so that our going forth will not be barren but fruitful and fertile. So if you did not get the point, I will explain it to you. So the Buddha, uh, Buddha tells monk that what do you say when people ask who you are? Monk said that we introduce them as monks. Then the Buddha said, if you say that we are monks, you have to make your title meaningful. You have to make your life meaningful. How? This is how you should think. So people offer us food, accommodation, clothes, medicine, and anything we need, the people give us. So that we depend on people. So that we should be able to make people's action of giving more meaningful by following training principles, by following the teachings to absorb samadhi and panya and so on. So basically, that is what it means. We should be true monks. We should not be false monks. We should be true disciples of the Buddha who practice Dhamma because we are supported by devotees with alms food, lodgings, robes, medicinal requisites, and so on. So, simply it means that if you live based on somebody else's things, you should be more kind, more compassionate than average people. It's a very important message for monks because at the time of the Buddha, the sasana, the bhikkhu and bhikkhuni order develops a lot. It means that a lot of people were, a lot of monks and also nun became so popular in the society, and people were to offer so many things for them because uh, because the Buddha is magical, extraordinary, and the Sangha of Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni, they were doing a very nice volunteer service for the benefit of the society. So, and the king and all the other aristocrats in the society supported it so that the average people in the countries considered the Buddha is so great and the Sangha also. So that some people who did not want to practice Dhamma genuinely enter into the order just for food, just for peaceful abiding, just because they fed up with their jobs and occupation. They were poor. Sometimes their reputation and the respect and honor they get from the society is not attainable by anybody. So that they thought that we should enter into the order not for what they are speaking of, but for living. So therefore, uh, some monks and nuns, of course, number is very less compared to the successful monks and nuns. They were doing something wrong. So the Buddha sometimes had to came forward and explain the Dhamma in a tough manner. And if you are eating from people, if you are living in public places like monasteries, so you should think in this way that I own or that I indebted to these people. It doesn't mean that you go and say thank you so much and so on, but you have to make your Dhamma practice active and meaningful so that we in return we have given them a lot of merits. So that's what the Buddha means. Having said that, the Buddha is telling this. Monks, what are the qualities that make that make you a real monk, that make you a real disciple? What what sort of thinking you should have? So we will be endowed. So thing you need to think is we will be endowed with uh, you know conscious and concern for the consequences of wrongdoing. So on the one thing you could do is to think deeply that what kind of consequences I will have if I do something wrong. This is so when you have that kind of reflection, you are getting away from wrongdoings. The sutta continues that now the thought may occur to you, we are endowed with concern that much is enough, that much means we are done, so that the goal of our contemplative state has been reached. There is nothing further to be done. You may rest content with the just that. So I tell you, monks, I exhort you, monks, don't let those of you who seek contemplative state fall away from the goal of the contemplative state when there is more to be done. It's a long passage. Uh, if you have that vision in mind that uh, I concern myself on training principles, that is the very intention that you go forward. In other words, if you practice Dhamma related to moral principles very much, you are not going to go on wrong way because your vision has already been set up. So whatever the contemplative or a monk or a mendicant should do in the training, that has been done, and you will be one of the great disciples. So I am telling you, they said, I'm telling you to do it over and over if you haven't completed your training, and live with that, so that not only you help those people but you have helped yourself. So that is how the Buddha talks about the concern monks should have. This is not related to monks, friends. It could also related to the bhikkhunis and you also, male and female lay followers. So having said this, Buddha talks about the moral purity. What can you do more in terms of making you right in the training? So you can think in your own. Our bodily conduct will be pure, clean, and open, unbroken, and restrained. We will not exalt ourselves nor disparage others on account of that pure bodily conduct. So first of all, you can we can think that our bodily conduct will be open and clean and clear and visible and unbroken. This is very good practice because sila is not only being practiced when we speak and when we act. Before that, we have to sit and think. I'm not going to violate this principle. So now you think about it. You mentally prepare not to do any wrongdoing. So wrongdoing happens later on, but before that you plan it. So if you plan to avoid wrongdoing, it also being done. It also been done earlier before the action. So now you think that I never allow myself to violate my physical conduct. I will keep it clean and clear, so that now you let go of harming living beings, at stealing and even misconduct. You are not telling any lies, gossip, and so on. So that's how you think now that I never do this, right? It's a kind of early preparation. Being mindful about what you need to do in sila is a good practice. So when you think in such a way, uh, you feel that you are really wholesome. You are really not perfect, but you have a kind of confirmation that you are going right. Suppose some people at this stage they create this kind of thoughts. I am better than others. That thought come to you when you practice in Dharma into a certain extent. Now I have become away from wrongdoings but establish on good things, so it's a happy thing. So having taken this into your mind, you look others down upon, having and then you put yourself on top of everyone, which is a man again. So that kind of behavior is not appreciated by you when you really think that this is the way I should do. So it's a mental organization. Now the thought may occur to you, we are endowed with concern. Our bodily conduct is pure. That much is enough. That much is enough, and that much means we are done. So that the goal of our monastic life has been reached. So when you practice it further and further, mental purity is being produced, and you feel that you are away from such misconduct at all, and it helps you more concentrated, so that progression on the Dharma path is taking place. Next, you question, what should I do more? Then he think, his mind speak now, or I should consider my speech. One of the doors of wrongdoing is speech, and you think that I should only talk something positive, something soothing, something meaningful. I never talk lies. I never said anything useless. So that is a mental preparation. Next, you think about mind, because the words and action are only manifestation of what we have in mind. So if you take care of your mind, you take care of everything, right? So even you have that thought in mind that I shouldn't do any bad thing. Having this kind of uh, thinking, what you complete now is Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta in the Noble Eightfold Path. The third and fourth factors of the Noble Eightfold Path are being completed with this observation, with this reflection, right? You think about your words, you think about your action, your whole intention is to make them wholesome. As a result, your questioning now speaking, our livelihood will be pure, clean, and open, unbroken, and restrained. So this is the thing I need to do. I should be morally wholesome in each aspect of my living. So that is called Sammajiva, right? So basically, what you are completing in the training, according to the Buddha, is the third and fourth and fifth aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path. Samma Kammanta, right action, right Samma Vacha, right speech, and right livelihood, Samma Ajiva. So you care of these three things in order to set your goals as a monk. So having done this, Buddha speak of restraint of the senses. I know you friends have heard about this Indriya Sangvara. There are suttas by this name, Indriya Bhavana Sutra, Indriya Sangvara Sutta, and Indriya Sangvara is being talked a lot in connected discourses of the Buddha called Samyutta Nikaya. There is Indriya Sangvara Samyutta. So in that, what we talk about is discipline our eyes, ears, the nose, the tongue, the smell, the nose, the tongue, and the body. So restraining five senses is key for the success of the training, uh, because as you know, the senses are the windows of both wholesomeness and unwholesomeness outside. So from eyes, ears, we take information, and in the information we take is negative from outside view as well as from inside view. You have ignorance and craving in mind. Thus, then you take the information really going to be bad, because your basis is ignorant. So, what happened to us if we are ignorant, if we are unmindful, if we have unwise attention in mind and absorb the information? Definitely, our mind is going to be agitated. Our mind is going to be complicated, because what you are absorbing through senses is negative, and the effort you put inside the mind is also negative. So, therefore, Indriya Sangvara is a big step in this regard. So you cannot be reckoned as a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni or male and female lay follower if you do not have Indriya Sangvara, because that's one of the important aspect of the beginning of the training, Indriya Sangvara, right? In elsewhere, the Buddha talks about the importance of Indriya Sangvara, because if you become a monk and nun at a monastery, you are not asked to go and meditate in the forest, under a tree, because you are not trained enough to go like that. First and foremost, you will you will be asked by your teacher to practice some discipline like was cleaning the ground and putting water into cups and bowls and things like that. If the monastery is not having any pipe system, so you have to bring the water from wells and rivers. So you should do this. As soon as you became a monk, you will be asked to do all these things. And when the teacher observe this particular student's behavior, physical and verbal, he is in a position to decide who this new monk is, who this new bhikkhun is. Then the teacher will decide the right time to give him the karmasthana, or the subject of meditation, for him to do long-term meditation to develop his samadhi skills. So see, what I want to emphasize is here that Indriya Samvara is being taught theoretically by your teacher, and in essence you should be able to apply what you learn from Indriya Samvara. So there is a nice story which I would like to share it now about Indriya Samvara. This is coming from Salayatana Samhita of the Samhita Nikaya. One day the Buddha asked bhikkhus to remember some animals. Let's say a crocodile, a bird, a snake, a deer, and let's say another, called tiger, whatever. So there are there are six animals who have different domains, different attitude, different size, and they are these six animals. Now you have them at your place. So now none of them are trained enough to listen to the advice from the owner, and if you unguard them, they might fly. The bird fly into the sky and go to its places, and the crocodile might jump into the water, and the monkey would be jumping from branch to branch, and it might goes away. So as you know, uh, six different domain of the for animals, and their way of behavior, their way of life is different. So what you need to do in order to restrain them, take a one long rope and tie each six animals into one rope. For example, you put one corner of the ropes to the tiger, the other edge is for the crocodile, in between the bird, the snake, the dog, what all and the cat. So these are the animals you have in your place. So you tie them into one rope in terms of discipline them. So what kind of scenario could happen now? So the tiger would be dragging everyone towards the forest, and whereas the crocodile, if the crocodile is a big one, uh, uh, it might drag everyone towards water, and the bird is going to fly, is trying to fly, and everyone, I think, everyone shows their different behavior. But what happened at the end? None of them dragged the other five animals, because everybody is dragging and pushing from different direction. After few minutes, everybody got tired, and they lie down on the floor, by being unable to you know by being unable to drag anyone to go to their own places. So this is the kind of analogy or example the Buddha gave in Salayatana Samhita in a particular discourse. Then the Buddha said that monks, having understood the nature of senses, they are like those animals. So the mind is compared to the monkey. So when our mind is busy, when our mind is engaging with so many things, mind is going to be busy, because we try to satisfy our senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. They are all entertained, so that uh, it is not well disciplined. So in Indriya Sangvara, what you do is you discipline your mind over seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, and thinking. This is how the Buddha asked monks to practice mindfulness. Now he took that examples. So like those six animals are tied together and cannot go away by anyone, they all lie down in the over there because nobody can drag each and everyone. So at the end, they disciplined. Earlier they did not listen to. Now they are disciplined now. So a statement of the Buddha is being used for another purpose. So having said this, Buddha said, because if you want to practice Dhamma and attain Indriya Samvara and other aspect of higher Dhamma, just be mindful about your senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And do not use these six senses or five physical senses to harm anyone, to make anyone unhappy. Just use them only for the purpose of happiness, right? So that's how Indriya Sangvara is being implemented by the Buddha. That is very important. So after Indriya Sangvara, what we have is moderation in eating. Friends, I do see that this aspect of the Dhamma has been discussed by us, by you, with me, or with somebody else before this. But isn't it nice to have them again and again so that we confirm ourselves on the practice of Dhamma in the training? So yes, even if you had listened to it before, just pay attention to it now. So the next subtopic is moderation in eating, and in order for you to make your monastic life meaningful, uh, eat moderate. Eat moderate. Actually, this moderate better for us to read some lines here, and what is to be done more, Venerable Sir. We will have a sense of moderation in eating. Then Buddha said that have the moderation in eating, considering it appropriately. We'll take food not playfully, not for intoxication, no for putting on bulk, and no for beautification, but simply for the survival and continuance of this body, for ending its affliction, for the support of the holy life. So, very purpose of taking food is for such purposes. I read you. So, just come out of the box and think what kind of intention we should have in eating, right? For some people, what they think while they are eating is how to, do this and that. And so basically, what you always think how to prepare our lunch, breakfast, dinner. There are families who have never any clue of getting those food, so that the eating is very important aspect of life. Everyone in the world is required to fulfill this aspect of moderation in eating. So when the Buddha talks about it particularly, Buddha asks us to be mindful about the meaning of Patisankaya and Sopindapada, but at the same time, just be mindful why I eat. When you think why I eat, you see what is the reason, and then what you do is keeping a moderation on it. So always see the balance. Do not. I have a kind of view on this regard here. Sometimes people go to different places for parties and gathering, and their behavior of eating is complicated. Some people eat with conversation. By with when you do conversation, they do it. Sometimes you practice different things when you gather. but they you never think of this particular quality, moderation in eating. Moderation in eating requires, because you see from Patichampada, tan Vedana Pacha Tanha, Tanha Pacha Upadana. So due based on feeling, Tanha arises. Based on feeling, craving arises, and based on craving, attachment arises. You see that based on feeling, pleasant and unpleasant and neutral, you are going to have craving. So that what I am going to say is that when you eat, you find the moderation, otherwise your mind goes to develop sensual places very much. So the very idea of eating in moderation is to give some energy for this body, and also to influence others for the same practice. So that is called moderation in eating. Unless you do this practice, you will be gone pintapata for houses of millionaires and so on. You eat only there. That kind of behavior might start if you do not think this particular practice, eating in moderation. So next is Jagriyanuta. It means devoted to wakefulness, which means you are not sleeping during the day, but you sleep when the night time comes with mindfulness, and you woke up in the around 4 or even before 4 just to meditate. So you sleep in day-to-day life, but not for fun, not for any other purposes, but for giving some restraint and relaxation for this body. If you do not do it, the body is going to be stressful, agitated, because the blood circulation is going down, and or the fast it become faster when things do not work, and so many things could happen in us when things go wrong. So we should be able to be mindful about our daily practices as well as practices out of the day, out of the jobs. So if you become careful of all these things, then you don't want to sleep a lot. You sleep a lot when your life is not balanced. So people say that if when our mind is free from some trouble, we sleep well. We sleep enough. Sound sleep is coming. Yes, I agree that. I agree to that, because when your mind is free from troubles, you can go to the bed no matter how difficult it is, how basic it is. You will sleep a lot. So those who have purified their mind might even sleep under a tree without anything. That sleep of that particular man who is happy, contented, and when it compares to the people who live on mansion-like things, they might not be having that kind of peaceful life. So the sleep depends on how you think, and being able to be away from some hours of sleep, it gives you so much time for your dharma practice. Okay, so wakefulness is like if you consider the daytime, you have a schedule to follow every day, waking up and going to school, taking children to school, or going to the kitchen and cooking for several hours, and then you eat and you walk, you do a walking outside, and people you talk to people who come here to the temple, and of course same scenario is going on in your life as well. So if you want to do something great, follow that kind of principles, right? So now we come to the night time. So like the Buddha, you divide the night time into couple of sections, like the time before sunset, the time after sunset, the middle night, and the early time period. So we have divided that kind of we have divided the time in that way, and you can wake and meditate in the first watch of the night. Second watch, you do walking meditation, and before beginning the third watch, you meditate. You take the support. So something like that could happen at night, because Everything is about organization. Wakefulness is means you do not sleep unnecessarily, but you manage your life with good practices. So next is mindfulness and alertness. This is called sati sampajanya. uh, the Buddha asked the question and Buddha answered. For on behalf of monk, he asked this question: what you need to be done more in order to make your monastic life solid and accurate? Then the Buddha said, you should be possessed of mindfulness and knowledge. In simple terms, you should have yoniso manas, sorry, sati sampajanya. When going, what is sati sampajanya? It's called situational awareness, which means the way you keep the body, you know it. Suppose you are standing, you internally know you are standing. You sit down, you know that your mother is sitting. Then when you go around in the building, you know. When you eat, you know. When you smell, you know. When you have a bath, you know. Any human activity you do, any activity you do, you become mindful and do it. That's called sati sampajana. Here in the sutta you see, when going forward and returning, we will act with alertness. When looking towards and looking away, when bending and extending our limbs, when carrying our outer cloak, upper robe, balls, when eating, drinking, chewing, tasting, when urinating and defecating, when walking, standing, sitting, falling asleep, wake up, talking, and remaining silent, we will act with alertness. So, any human activity we do, physical or verbal, we become mindful about very product, very thing. So, that is what we call sati sampajanya, right? So, like this, you become mindful of bodily action, verbal action, and also action, mental action. So, there you have done with something great with your mind. So, mindfulness and alert. So long you become mindful and ready with practice, what you do is abandoning five hindrances. I just spend some time with this now. I just want to uh, tell you what the Buddha said about five hindrances. I think everyone is aware about five hindrances. What are the five hindrances? Kama Chanda, desire for sensual pleasures; Vyapada, ill will; Tinamid, sleepiness and drowsiness of your mind and body; and then Uddacha Kukucha, restlessness of mind. Because of restlessness, there is worry also. Then the last one is doubt, skeptical doubt. This is called doubt that uh, never allows you to be open minded. You question everything. For example, when the sun set, you could ask, if you have that argumentative mind, why this sun is coming right now, why it could not come 1 hour later, something like that. So skeptical doubt, the very nature of a skeptical doubt is questioning for without purpose. Just because you are curious, you might have skeptical doubt uh, because of some other reason. So there are such things in life, five hindrances. So when you become mindful about the postures and other things, you are technically ready for practicing jhana. So letting go of five hindrances equals to attain first jhana. So now the sutta talks about the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. As you know, four jhanas are the signs of nirvana in my personal understanding. Because when you attain the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, let's forget about second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. When you attain the first jhana, your mind is so elated and uh, brilliant because you have overcome the five negative things in mind. So that has been one of the very highlighted place in the training, getting into jhana. So many times Buddha has requested monks to go away from him and find suitable trees and groves and caves and any place you come across as good as. So just select them and meditate, right? So that is one advice that the Buddha gave. So practice jhana, practice meditation for overcoming hindrances. These are the points that the Buddha talks about, and any people who encourage us, this is the way they encourage us. So do more. So jhana is been achieved, and as you know, Sutta tells, once you are in jhana, once you have that jhanic experience, you could actually direct your mind to see your own history. If I ask this question from you, how far you can read in your life, you say from the very young age in my life, like 5, 6 years old, I remember one day everything. I don't think so, because you remember only highlighting points of your life, memorable incident. That's all you. Uh, the very uh, uh, each and every action you do, you can remember, right? So in the first knowledge of wisdom, what you achieve is being able to read your fast, not only this life but many lifetime, and you have that ability to do so, right? Because you have been practice you practiced jhana many times before. Now you directed your mind with the jhana experience to see something in his or her history. So as a result, because you are grounded on noble qualities, as a result, you will be able to reach to that knowledge that I passed away from that life and reborn here. What made me to be reborn, be here again? So you not only see the dramatic unfolding of samsara of you, but you also make some progress in the spiritual path, because you see that now you have to practice. So three knowledges the Buddha talks about here is Ubenivasanusati, Chutupapata, Asavakya. So there are many other things he could talk, but basically these are the three knowledges you can, of course, direct your mind. So according to the sutta, if you are a particular wholesome disciples, you of course go through all these aspects. At last, what you do is asavakya. What does that mean? Asavakya means destruction of all cankers, destruction of all impediments, and the total cleanliness of every aspect of akusala. So uh, that's called asavakya jnana. So once you come to that state of life, you feel that you have gone through everything. And I would, that now Buddha is talking to monks, I would say monks that this monk is a real completive, a real Brahmin, a real master, a real noble person. So Buddha simply say that if you follow the path I explained to you from the very beginning, you are going to be such a nice person. Now some come to temple and say that, okay, we achieved this and so on. Likewise here, Buddha said, if you practice all dhammas, I will tell you that you are a very true disciple. You are a genuine Brahmin. You are a genuine liberated person. So how you are going to be like that? Again, uh, so you are going to be like that because of Dhamma practice. Uh, so in the sutta, Buddha talks about these things. I think that's the basically skeleton of the discourse, Mahasapura. So I think I have given enough time and energy to do it, Mahasapura Sutta. So if you have any concern or any cross question, please take time. Uh, Basically, as I said at the beginning of the discussion, Asapura Sutta, the content of the Asapura Sutta is quite similar to many other discourses. Buddha unfolded what you need to do as a monk, what you need to do at the very beginning, in the middle, what you need to do towards the end of your training. So it is everything is explained in details by the Buddha. So the Buddha does this kind of things time to time to encourage monks and nuns for their salvation. I think that has been done by the Buddha quite remarkably, because every ingredients of the Dharma is being discussed. So, but anyway, if you see any significant point to be elaborated, or if you think that this point of another sutta is quite similar to this one, so please talk about it. I am open to have a discussion about another 8 minutes if you have anything. Friends, this is the thing, why we select this kind of discourses once a week and try our best to uh, explore the content of the discourses, because they are direct teaching of the Buddha. Venerable Ananda's statement is found at the beginning of the discourse. After that, all the words are mostly uttered by the Buddha or great disciples. And when you read a discourse, it is an additional Dhamma practice that encourage you to do to do meditation. Sometime, despite your status as upasaka and upasika or lay person, you may be doing better than sometimes monks, because you have been having that fortune behind you. Being a lay person, you got a lot of experience of problems, suffering, and so forth. So household life is not that easy. It's very difficult. But we as monks came to the order very early in our life. I became monk when I was 12. So we did not have that time and space to mix with social issues. Issues arise in the family due to economic and political and other reasons. We did not experience much suffering from the society. So that we may be having a lack of that experience. But anyway, we have seen that many times. But you people played a lot of roles in the society, in the family, and faced with so many challenges. So from these challenges, you are energetic, you are energized now. Right now, you get the real seed of Dharma, so that your progress is much, much faster than sometimes some monks and nuns. It happens during the time of the Buddha. It could happen even now. So that, friends, reading sutta should be doing always as much as you could. You read the discourse. If you are able to concentrate well, you become mindful about these highlighting points. Keep them in mind for your practice. You can strengthen your mind with this. Okay, so that is what I want to tell you at last. If you haven't any questions, I would end this with the discussion by 9 or even before 9, because there are people here to meet me. So if you haven't any questions, I would rather end the discussion. Howard, do you have anything to discuss?
Oh, I think it's very clear what you said. Um, in the book, it talks about recluse or recluseship. A recluse is someone who's a hermit.
Yeah,
So,
that's translation by Bhikkhu Bodhi. They use that term, and even Bhikkhu Tanisaro in the internet, you find this with an recluse is another word is mendicant or contemplative. Another word. So that is when you translate Pali to English, these are the terms you use. It's particularly bhikkhu. Buddha could not put it into someone outside of the outside of the order. So because outside of the order, Buddha could people cannot practice this. People don't want to practice this. So anytime and every time Buddha use recluse, it is being used for bhikkhus and bhikkhunis and lay followers. right?
Thank
So
you.
the recluse is another word to explain you the status of bhikkhu and bhikkhuni.
Thank
The
you.
Pali word for bhikkhu is for monks or recluse or mendicants. All right, it seems that you do not have any concern and questions and addition. So I would prefer to end today's Sutta studies. I really appreciate your participation because of you, because of your presence. People come together and discuss Dhamma. So the merits go to you for your well-being and happiness. And I wish from my merits, with my merits in mind, may you live long life with good health. May you be able to make your Dhamma shine more and more with right effort. Wherever you go, may you go with the Dharma in mind and face challenges, because so long you keep closer to Dhamma doesn't mean that you don't have problems. You will have, but the way you face these problems would be different from an average person, because you have something in mind. So I wish may you have that kind of Dhamma development in your life, and finally may you attain nirvana. May the divine beings like this kind of discussion very much and help us in different ways, and may the other living beings also like the Dharma of the Buddha in this manner, and may they like very much. And finally, may you be able to attain nirvana. With this wholesome thought, we end today's Sutta studies. Would like to see you next week. May you be well, happy, and peaceful once again. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.